Okay, round one, we're on the draw. I think this is a definite keep. I mean, we get to go Lieutenant into Stratus Walk, which is quite good. Okay, Jailer, not too intimidated by that. It's probably one of those decks I could have gotten away with 16 lands, but because we have like Starfish and Vial, I don't feel terrible about I don't feel terrible about running. Oh wow, he kept a one-lander on the play. Wow, my opponent has got some real balls doing that. Hopefully we don't get Reeve sold. I'd prefer to be able to Stratus Walk here. Ooh, this is nice. So let's go Stratus Walk first. I don't think there's any 2-mana spells I have to worry about there. Alright. So we could Mighty Leap and block, but we at least got our card off Stratus Walk, so that's okay. Alright, very good. We get Renowned. Now we get to play Anointer and pass. Leaving his mana open, I presume, to tap down Lieutenant. So let's let him move to combat step. Okay, he's going to tap down Lieutenant, so we'll get in with Anointer, and we get to follow up with a Knight of the Pilgrim's Road, which is actually quite good here. If we rip a blue mana off the top, we get to go into Ringward Owl too, which is pretty nice. I think he's going to have a hard time keeping Lieutenant tapped down for the rest of the game. So he's going to have to eventually play a removal spell or something. Wow, this is actually very good for us. So now we get to attack with... yeah, this is actually just insane. We get to play... And we get to play Aven and Guard. Wow. This is really going our way. So we get to attack with Lieutenant and Knight. We get buffed. He can't block because we get to just buff our Knight past his Knight. Yeah, like this doesn't work out for him because now we just buff our guy, get out of range. He basically just throws a guy away. We get to play Aven plus Guard, which just is going to be phenomenal for our Council's Lieutenant. I mean, granted, we're spewing our hand out, but even if he has Tragic Arrogance, he's 2 turns away from it and a white mana. All right. Opponent should not have kept the 1 mana hand on the play, especially. Even on the draw, it's typically pretty sketchy, but on the play, it's like a very big no-no. So we basically just drew spells and got to spew our hand out, and we totally just got the Council's Lieutenant Stratus Walk line to pay off huge for us. So we really don't have much of a sideboard plan. Negate, and that's about it. Hallowed Moonlight if I knew my opponent had like a Priest of the Bloodright, because it at least cycles. And Oromancer maybe if I knew more about my opponent's removal spells, but I'm not going to bring these in until I see some more stuff out of our opponent. So let's just go to game 2 here. This is a keep. We have both colors. Our hand's clunky, but we have quite a few 2-drops in here, so I think it's worth keeping. Okay, well, we have Council's Lieutenant mana. We have Disperse if we need it. Okay, Starfish is quite good. It's a good card for him to have there. Maybe we draw our own Starfish. That would be quite nice. Topin Freeblade, that's also a good draw. So play the Freeblade. Can't get in past the Starfish, but I might just end up dispersing it at an opportune time. Okay. Hmm. Seems like an attack. Maybe he just blocks with Starfish and we Celestial Flare. Maybe he just blocks with Knight and we Celestial Flare. Basically, we're going to Celestial Flare, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So he gets a Starfish, but Freeblade is still a future threat, especially with our Disperse. So, and we have Bonds. We do have to find a 4th mana, and I should get some priorities in order of what I want to do. Like, for example, if I get a 4th land and he doesn't make a play here, do I just want to play Tactician so I can bash for 3? Or do I want to do an Aeronaut to set up for a Tactician? Like, there's some real decisions that have to be made here. I should watch if my opponent's bottoming or topping there too. Put a card on the bottom, okay. So, obviously digging. I definitely don't want to trade Freeblade for a Servitor, so I think we're just gonna, okay. So, this is probably a decent time to play Tactician. He's got a mana up for Enshrouding Mist, but I kind of like the idea of just casting Tactician, bashing for 3. I feel like his blocks aren't great. If he has Enshrouding Mist, it's very good, but making him have it seems okay. Otherwise, I'm just sort of playing Aeronaut and giving him a chance to either leave up mana for Jailer or play a relevant 4-drop that makes a 3 damage attack worse. So I think actually just getting a 3/3 down that buffs my Freeblade at the moment is actually pretty beneficial. Like, now he just doesn't have a great block for Freeblade. Unless he has Enshrouding Mist. But like I said, forcing him to have Enshrouding Mist seems worth it. Okay, so he just wants to draw a card, as do we. It's a pretty good, very good exchange for us, as a matter of fact. We both get a card, but he ends up short a card because he had to chump block with Servitor. We also get a 3/3, so next turn we can play Ringwarden Owl or Disperse or Suppression Bonds if need be. I think he forgot to use his Starfish too, I believe. Yeah, he did. He should have actually used the Starfish in response to the Ruined Servitor trigger. He's also playing 3-color, which is, I guess I should have pointed that out, like, because I only saw black the first game, so I don't know what I was thinking there. Anointer is very good. I could play Anointer Aeronaut. I'm going to see what my opponent does here, though. So now I can actually disperse his Starfish, get in with Freeblade, and then he can't block effectively with Starfish. And I still have Suppression Bombs for the next threat, and I can still play Anointer. I feel like renowning our Freeblade is kind of important here because of the Starfish. So I'm just going to let him do that. I'm going to disperse the Starfish. And I'm going to play Anointer. Okay, bottomed it. So I think this is actually going to work fairly well for us. He's going to miss a Scry next turn. We get our guy Renowned, so we have a 3/3 Vigilance. And we get an Anointer out. And next turn we have Ringwarden Owl or Suppression Bounds, both of which are really superb options for us. Could have walked into a Tragic Arrogance, I guess, but I typically don't play around rares until I see them. Tragic Arrogance would be a lot better for him, though, if I just slammed a... I guess he'd let us keep Anointer. But yeah, Tragic Arrogance would be way better for him if I just bounced a creature. Okay, Ringwarden Owl is certainly manageable, especially given that we've got 2 3/3s with an Anointer. So I think now I'm just much more likely to just slam a Ringwarden Owl. Okay, this is actually going to work out really nicely for us because that suppression bounds is going to completely disable his excellent blocker here, and his 2/2 vigilant knight is very irrelevant. So this is actually kind of nice. I mean, we'd have to take a bunch of damage here, but we're actually still in very good shape. So we get some prowess as well, which is nice. Just get to eat both of his guys. Deal a bunch of damage to him. He's in a pretty tough spot now. I can't imagine he can recover easily from this board state. All right, so pretty much stole the match on Anointer. Possibly both. I think actually both games. First game, it was Knight of the Pilgrim's Road with Consul's Lieutenant buffing it, plus Anointer. Just no good blocks. And once again, just with the 3/3 bodies on board and Anointer, just really no good blocks. Our opponent almost stabilized the board with the Knightly Valor on the Ring Warden Owl, but us having suppression bonds just totally disabled that aspect of his game. I don't think our opponent's deck was particularly good. He did have some good early game, but Jailer is not the mark of a great card. I don't think it's excellent. It's playable in this format, but never exciting. The rest of his deck, I guess, seemed fine. Knightly Valor's very good. Ring Warden Owl's obviously playable. Knight of the Pilgrim's Road playable. So I wonder how much white we ended up sharing with this opponent. I'm not sure, but I'm glad we could get the victory. So we'll see you in round 2.